Today's show is sponsored by the ABV Barrel Shop. The ABV Barrel Shop is located in the St. Louis metro community of Arnold, Missouri, and is the world's first single barrel only liquor store. This business is owned and operated by Steve Akeley and Jim Fosnot. Head over to abvbarrelshop.com to sign up for their email and text distribution list. That way you'll know what they have in stock, what classes are coming up, and what barrel picks they have in the works. We are also sponsored by The Bar to Go. The Bar to Go offers a fully customizable carrying case that allows you to take your favorite distilled spirits or cocktail ingredients with you. Whether you're looking for yourself, a customized gift, or logo items for your business or event, The Bar to Go can help. Check them out at thebar2go.com. Use the number 2 when you type out The Bar to Go. Did you know Neely Family Distillery now ships its popular distilled spirits directly to you? To order, simply call 859-394-3258. Tell them the ABV Network sent you. And now, on to the show.
Let's drink!
Welcome to the Bourbon Daily, the podcast about everything bourbon delivered to you every day of the week. Today on the show, I have Gary Hinegardner of Wood Hat Spirits and Erik Owens of the American Distilling Institute talking about the ADI's yearly conference, which will be in St. Louis this year. Please join me in welcoming my special guests, Gary Hinegardner and Erik Owens. Hey guys, what's up?
Oh man, this is a great day. We're getting to talk about corn and corn genetics, and it's great.
Yes. Absolutely.
Hello, everyone. Really excited to be here and really excited to talk about corn whiskey, the often underappreciated American spirit.
Yes, absolutely. So, and we'll talk about the conference and all that kind of stuff. We'll talk about ADI and exactly what they do and all that kind of stuff. We'll get to the bulk of that after the break. Before we get to that, though, I think it's always a good idea for our audience to get to know our guests on a personal basis. So, Gary, we're going to start with you. Just a quick overview of who you are and tell us a little bit about your distillery here in the greater St. Louis area.
Cool. Well, we're west of St. Louis a little bit, not very far, but kind of a good drive. I own and run Missouri in a distillery called Wood Hat Spirits, named after the wood hats that I make. I've been a wood turner for many years, and I just kind of like to make hats out of wood. And, you know, distilleries are called short 2-word names generally. Jim Beam, Jack Daniels, Maker's Mark. Well, my name's Gary Hinegardner, and that just doesn't fit at all.
That doesn't flow, no. Yeah.
It doesn't flow, and you couldn't put it on a bottle.
The label would have to wrap around the bottle
all the time. So we said, okay, that doesn't work. We're going to have to call this distillery something else. So that's where we decided to call it Wood Hat. And everybody asked that second question, you know, what is that all about? And that's a lead-in question that's really worked for us. So,
yeah.
Well,
one of your specialties, obviously, is corn, right? I mean, I always say there's nobody who knows more about corn in the whiskey business than Gary Hinegardner.
Well, I appreciate that. But yeah, it's all about corn. I mean, if you're going to make a American whiskey, if you're going to do bourbon, you know, it's got to be 51% corn to start with. A lot of this whiskey and alcohol in this country is made out of corn, you know, whether it's vodka, whatever's made out of. We use a lot of corn. And so when you change the corn, you change the whiskey. It's very important. And in the, you know, the wine business, we know that when you change a grape, you make a different wine. You know, everything is like that. You know, if you change the hops, you make a different beer. Change them all. You make a different beer. And for some reason or other, in the whiskey business, where you haven't really acknowledged that whole concept. And that's what this whole thing is about acknowledging the fact that when you change the corn, you change the whiskey. And corn, the whiskey you make from corn is a big result of the kind of corn you use. And that's the reason we're doing this field day and this whole concentration thing on a master class at the ADI conference is to deal with that.
To give a little bit of context to that too, ADI has been around for almost 20 years now. And when we look back on the industry 20 years ago, who was there? There was about 60 or 70 distilleries in the United States. maybe 5 to 10 craft distillers total. Today, there's over 2,200 distilleries. So Gary and the other distillers of the United States really focusing on corn whiskey, this is definitely a ground swelling or a different shift. Everybody uses, all the big distilleries use commodity crops, yellow number 2, but the industry started growing and doubling, and those distillers had pot stills and not column stills. And I think it's Gary, Highwire, Iron Root Republic really started to focus in on those raw ingredients. And really, they're making bourbon, they're making corn whiskey, but it's really a much different style. When you're using a column still, it's much lighter, and it's doesn't have as much of those heavy congeners, those thick, rich, oily spirits that really pick up those barrel flavors. And so Gary has really just keyed into that, the small batch, pot stilled, and then adding heritage varietals into that mix for different flavors. And to me, that's one of the big advantages that a craft distiller has, is that unique ability to craft flavor. I think it's one of the most interesting things is when I taste these amazing spirits, is like, how did you get here? Is this what you had in your brain, in your mind,
Right,
your flavor memory when you started? I don't know if it is, but I think they're almost like shepherds, or able to craft and narrate and say, hey, I can edit this out and I can edit this out and try to turn up this flavor a little bit. And that's really, I think that's, for the corn whiskey masterclass that Gary's doing, I think that's the main focus.
All right. Well, we'll talk about that in just a second. Right now, Erik, I think it's a good idea to know you on a little bit of a personal basis. So outside of it, we'll talk about ADI in just a second here. Tell us a little bit about yourself, who you are.
I'll leave out the sort of the boring pre-spirits industry stuff. I started working at American Distilling Institute in 2016. Mm-hmm. It was founded about 20 years ago by my father, Bill Owens, who's he's done many things. Was a professional photographer. He's in galleries around the world. He started Buffalo Bill's Brewery in 1982 and is the grandfather of craft brewing in America. And he sold off all those businesses and then saw that craft distilling was going to do the same thing that craft brewing has done. And indeed, he was correct, right? So like I said, there was about 60 or 70 distilleries 20 years ago. There's 2,200 today. So I was working in biotech and pharma and been to a bunch of the conferences. That's where I met Gary, I think 8 or 9 years ago now. And eventually, he asked me to come over to ADI and start working in this business. And this business is absolutely amazing. Get to meet unique individuals like Gary that are entrepreneurs and artists and have gone all in on this desire to create and share spirits. So, nice. I'm still very much a novice in the industry, I believe. I mean, going from, sipping on beer and wine to tasting whiskey it's a big jump. It's an explosion of flavor on your palate, and that ability to be able to communicate what's going on in your mouth, in your taste buds with 60% ABV spirit is a unique ability. Or it's not a unique ability, but it's definitely something that takes, I believe, years and years to know and understand. So around 2016, I started working for ADI. I've been the president of ADI for the last 3 years now. And Yeah, that's
cool.
what I feel.
Very cool. So that sets us up well. What we'll do next, we'll take a quick break. And then when we come back, we're going to be talking about the yearly ADI conference, what that is, how you can get involved if you want to come and see what's going on here in St. Louis. And then we'll talk to Gary about his event that he's going to be having there and how you may want to get involved in that. We'll do that in just a few. Let's talk about the people who make these shows happen. First up is the ABV Barrel Shop. It is the most unique shopping experience in the world of bourbon, as the ABV Barrel Shop only sells single barrels. Owners Steve Akeley and Jim Fosnot select. With over 100 distilleries on board to sell us barrels, we are home to the most unique and diverse barrel pick selections in the bourbon world. By signing up for our email, you will always know what we have in stock. In addition to the single barrels, we'll have a gift shop featuring ABV Barrel Shop as well as ABV Network merchandise. We are partnering with vendors like Art Eatables and Old Man Bay Signs to bring you unique items you can't find anywhere else. We will also have a 24-seat classroom where we are offering educational and fun classes like Breakfast and Bourbon, a series where we pair donuts and bourbon, customer barrel picks, and opportunities to learn from master distillers and other bourbon dignitaries. Best of all, we feature a tasting bar where you can try before you buy. All of this is located in the St. Louis metro community of Arnold, Missouri. If you are in the St. Louis area, please stop by to say hi. If you're traveling in from outside the area, please take advantage of our hotel rates with the Drury Inn and Pear Tree Inn, less than a mile from our shop. This can be done via the links in our Visit St. Louis section on our website. Head over to abvbarrelshop.com to plan your trip. The ABV Barrel Shop. It's where single barrels live. Hi, this is Steve Akeley, owner of the ABV Network. We're sponsored by the Stave and Thief Society. This is where you, a bourbon enthusiast, can expand your knowledge and emerge a bourbon steward. In 2017, I completed my Executive Bourbon Steward certification. It's the most comprehensive bourbon certification program available and connects you with an expansive network of bourbon enthusiasts and professionals. Check out the full listing of in-person and online certifications and join the society today by enrolling at staveandthief.com. Okay, let's talk about the Neely Family Distillery. In 2018, I met Royce Neely at an industry event. He started appearing on our shows, and we became friends during my frequent trips to Kentucky. Today, he is amongst the leaders of young distillers leaving their mark on the bourbon industry. A visit to Neely Family Distillery yields insight on their unique family history, why their products are special, and gives you the opportunity to taste their whiskey, moonshine, and creams. Check them out at NeelyFamilyDistillery.com or visit them in Sparta, Kentucky.
I'm McNew. Don't mix your grain and grapes. Not a good time. You're listening to the Bourbon Daily.
Hello, everybody, and welcome back. My name is Steve Akeley. I'm joined by Erik Owens from the American Distilling Institute, or ADI as we call it, and Gary Hinegardner from Wood Hat Spirits. Gentlemen, we're going to start with Erik here. Erik, what I want to know is tell us about the yearly conference, what it is, what to expect, and how maybe people can get involved if they would like to attend. People are just bourbon fans, or maybe there's some distillers sitting on the sidelines that listen to the show, and suddenly they were like, well, I want to get involved in this too. So talk to us a little bit about that.
So in 2004, there was a gathering of about 60 or 70 distillers in the San Francisco Bay Area, and ADI was born at that time. So we had the first few years, there was not many distillers in America. And so we were definitely very small. Around 2010, that started to change. The amount of distilleries, there's about 300 to 400 distilleries coming online per year. And ADI has grown with that. Our annual conference, we are expecting 1,800 attendees. We had around that number in Louisville last year, and it is for everything distilleries. If anything, we're a little bit too focused on distilleries and maybe not welcoming enough to the rectifiers and the brands out there. But to give you a rundown of it, we'll be at the St. Louis Convention Center. September, the two main days of the conference are September 15th and 16th. The day before the conference, we'll have the Corn Whiskey Summit at Gary's Place. The keynote speaker will be Dr. Ann Brock of Bombay Sapphire. We will have an expo floor with over 200 booths, everything you could ever want to buy for a distillery, goods and services will be there. We'll have a distributor panel with various size distributors. The second day, we have our gala where we announce the awards for the International Spirits Competition. We also have for the last 12, 13 years run a spirits competition. And those awards will be given away on stage at the gala. Just the ones for like best whiskey, best bourbon, the best in class. It will wrap up with a casino night, and we always do a spirit summit of some type around the conference. And so this year we will be doing a gin summit. And so that will be the day after the show on September 17th, Saturday, September 17th. And Gabriel Alexander of Citadel Gin will be the keynote speaker. But it's really a gathering of international gin lovers, international gin consultants, international gin distillers. So a big celebration of gin will be the final day.
Nice. So, and can individuals get involved? Can people come and attend some of the festivities? And I'm talking about just bourbon fans, people who might be listening to this podcast, in the St. Louis audience, are willing to travel here, that type of thing. Can they get involved, Erik?
Oh yeah, the tickets are open to the public. We only have a couple of more days for the early bird registration. Okay. ADI members do get a discount on that ticket, and then there are other events around the conference which you don't need to be a member and are individual tickets, like Gary's masterclass. We have classes and the Gin Summit. Right? You don't have to buy a ticket to the conference to get in those. You don't need to be a member of ADI to attend those events. So all of this is on distilling.com, or just search up American Distilling Institute, and I'm sure we'll pop up.
Very cool.
We got that tasting event, Erik, on the night of the 14th, which is, I think there's 17 different Missouri craft distillers are going to be pouring. The night of the 14th. And that.
Yes. So that's part of the ticket of the conference. So you'd have to get a conference ticket to attend that event. But what Gary's talking about is the night before the main conference, we always partner with whatever state guild we're in. This is actually the first time we have come to St. Louis. Normally in the early years, we really stuck to the main distilling centers, Denver, Louisville, Seattle, and but there's definitely a burgeoning scene in St. Louis, and this is the year we decided to check that out. And so we're partnering with I'm going to murder the name, the Missouri Craft Distillers Guild. And so there will be a pouring, there's a tasting of all of Missouri spirits the night before the conference. There's additional tastings and a lot of things going on as well.
Very cool. And I will be at that one. I'm looking forward to it. So Erik has invited me. So very cool. Can't wait. Gary, we've touched a little bit on the event that you've got that is going to be there. Tell us about that. I know you've been working hard on that. You've been talking for a year about this thing. So how's this thing coming together? What can people expect that are attending? And as Erik mentioned, it's something people can get a ticket for. So tell us a little bit about this and why someone might want to be there.
Cool. Yeah. I mean, this to me, I'm prejudiced, of course, and we have been working on this for a year. I think Bill and Erik and I talked about this last year at the ADI conference. We kind of kicked it off. And then with the help of Dr. Sherry Flint Garcia, a corn geneticist from the university with the USDA and University of Missouri, have been working on this. We've actually planted a whole field. There's 150 different corns that are going to be on this field tour. So we've been planning it. We've grown a whole crop just for this purpose. And we have a set, the speakers, Ron Harmon, who's been a corn geneticist with basically Pioneer for about 30 years, white corn and breeding corn for human consumption. He's going to be one of the main speakers. Rob Arnold, who's written a book on the terroir of whiskey out of Texas, acknowledging the fact and done research on the fact that when you grow corn in different places in Texas, it tastes different. And some of those concepts are, we've talked around the edges, but we're bringing them out in the forefront and dealing with them. Dr. David Brom is a corn geneticist from the University of Missouri, going to talk to us about the different techniques and how we're going to breed corn and the whole GMO thing and maybe the CRISPR and exceeded mutations with corn. Zach Taylor, who is a PhD student, University of Missouri, going to tell about some of the new techniques in distilling, particularly on the micro scale, so we can incorporate those with the genetics so we can speed the process up of trying to figure out what corn tastes like and how to distill it, those type of things. Dr. Sherry Garcia is going to have a big field day out here. She's got a fantastic array of corn planted, including Teal Sente, which is where corn came from 9,000 years ago. We actually are going to see that. It's planted and growing out here in the back. And we're going to do a bunch of stuff here. And we've been working on the Missouri Corn Project here, Heritage Corn Project, for a couple of years. And we'll have 44 corn varieties that are adapted to Missouri that have been sitting in jars in a corn blank for about 80 years, most of them. We brought those out with Dr. Sherry Garcia's help, and we planted those here for everybody to see them. We're going to have our own breeding program in full view. We're going to have at least 10 different new varieties of corn we bred for whiskey. We're going to see the corn. We'll have the mature ear so you can see what it looks like. And then we're going to have the white dog. We've actually distilled some of these corns. We have the white whiskey. We'll have sample cups up there so you can see what the differences are in taste or without the barrel influence. And this has never been done before.
Yeah. Gary, this is exciting, and this really hits the mark for our audience. I mean, you're talking about people that listen to podcasts or people that are so interested in whiskey that they're willing to listen to podcasts. I mean, so no one finds this accidentally or is just a casual bourbon fan who's listening to podcasts. These are people that are really into the idea of whiskey and how it's made and processed. And of course, heirloom grains is something that they know makes a difference. And this is an opportunity to try a lot of different heirloom grains in whiskey form. So this is, and like you said, white dogs, how many are you planning on having distilled and be able to sample there? How many different?
We're probably going to have 8 or 10 white dogs.
That's incredible. Yeah.
We're down in the process of how many of these dispensers do we need to order? We're going to kind of do that today. So we kind of need to know how many we're going to do. A person can only taste so much.
Right.
You're only effective probably in the 8 to 10 categories for most people. So,
that's a pretty goodly amount, though. Yeah,
that's a goodly amount. But we want people. We want to show
my spirits judges that.
Yeah,
so they're doing 60 a day, and the master blenders do 100. But hey,
yeah, they also spit.
That's true.
Our amateurs will be drinking the whole thing, I'm sure. So yes, I agree with Gary. About eight a day sounds 8 to 10 right there.
And we'll have some. We got some already aged. We got some orange flint that's been aged in barrels. We got some Missouri shoe peg. Nobody's ever made that legally out of shoe peg corn. So we'll have that in some aged form. We'll have some other stuff. Maybe we've got some surprises we might show that day also.
Okay. I'm excited
it's
about it.
It's the first time this has ever been done. Nobody's ever done this before.
Yeah. Is there going to be some food to eat, Gary? With all that whiskey, is there going to be some food there?
We haven't got that far.
Okay.
We're going to have lunch. If you sign up for this, we're going to get on buses in St. Louis and come to New Florence, and we're going to stop and have we're thinking about probably a Panera, St. Louis Bread Company, or, that's one of the options I know. Going to have a sack lunch on the way out here so we don't eat up a bunch of time eating lunch when we could be sipping whiskey or talking about corn. We're going to eat on the way out here. So yes, there will be. And we may do some chiche. in the afternoon. We've been working on a chiche project that we are really not going to say much about until that day. Hopefully we're going to have that. But
Okay.
Around the world, there are corn drinks made out of corn that we're going to try to mimic for that day. It's exciting.
So to give you the recap, yeah, we'll meet at the America's Center, the St. Louis Convention Center in the morning. There will be several lectures in the morning. We're all going to jump on a bus, and it's about an hour and 15 minutes to Gary's place. And yeah, lunch will be provided. And then, yeah, we'll be out at Gary's place and do the farm tour, the field tour, do the tasting, and then jump back on the bus and head back to the convention center.
Okay. Erik, just a little bit more about the logistics of it. First of all, if someone is interested in this, again, I think this really hits the mark for our audience. They want to get a ticket. How much is a ticket cost? And what day does this Gary's event happen on during the conference?
The event, if you go to distilling.com, on the menu bar, there's events, and you can find out about this, about other classes we are offering. It is $235 if you are not a member of ADI.
Yeah, great experience. So yeah,
registration information there.
Yeah, how great is that? So sounds like an awesome event, great day, and really it truly is an experience, because where else are you going to get the opportunity to try this many different heirloom corns and try the whiskey from that? And it'll be an incredible day, and all the logistics are taken care of for you. You get the bus ride back and forth, lunch is involved. To me, sounds fantastic. So I think people want to do this, and I'm very excited about it. And hopefully I'll be out there hanging out with you guys and drinking some of this whiskey. That sounds good. Well, we'll wrap this one up as we always do by talking about where people can find us. Erik, we'll start with you. Anything you want to share for ADI, and I'm talking social media, websites, anything else that can help you out with your business, and specifically, of course, this conference?
I was going to pitch something that's not at this conference, which is we also have a annual class with Nancy Fraley. She is one of
Nancy the Nose.
Nancy the Nose. She is one of the best independent blenders, I would say, in the world. Last time I hung out with her, I asked her how many gold medals she has. She doesn't even keep track anymore.
That's when you're cool. When you don't, it's like a lot. I don't know. I don't even know.
Yeah. I'm too busy doing stuff to keep track of how many awards all my spirits have won. That's at Iron Root Republic in December. Also, another distillery that is known for their corn whiskeys. They're using heritage varietals as well. But yeah, really the main place, distilling.com. Sign up for our newsletter on there. We have a free weekly newsletter to keep you up to date on all the news and notes in the industry. And yeah, just really looking forward to going to St. Louis, really looking forward to touring the great distilleries you have out there, really looking forward to seeing Still 630, another corn whiskey, bourbon whiskey maker, I believe. Checking you guys out.
Great job. All right. Gary, how about you? Where can people find you?
Usually out in the field.
Okay.
Getting ready for the field. Or putting wood in the stove. We're going to take a tour here at Woodhat Spirits, which is really the only wood-fired distillery in the United States that I know about. We're going to take a short tour through there, but you can find me at woodhatspirits.com or Gary at Woodhat Spirits. We're about an hour west of St. Louis, and you can call me. I do a telephone call, but you get on our website and all that information's on there.
It's all there. It's all there.
Yeah, it's there.
All right. For me, I'm an easy guy to find. I'm at Steve Akeley on Twitter, Instagram, or Facebook. I've got a website, steveakeley.com. The important website, though, is abvnetwork.com. Check it out, because everything that we do is out there. And also abvbarrelshop.com. That's where our new barrel shop is. And we're going to be doing a little event, too, during ADI conference. And we encourage our distillery friends to come out. And we're going to do like an open house format. So it's going to be pretty fun. We're going to have St. Louis food. So, if you're coming to St. Louis, there's some unique foods just to our area. So my business partner, Jim, and I have discussed this, and I think that's going to be the coolest thing. We'll be pouring some of our barrel picks and enjoying some St. Louis food. So yeah, check that out too. That would be great. And of course, if you like what we're doing, please give us a 5-star review. It helps new people find the show, which is very important to us. And finally, if you want to get involved, you certainly can do that by heading over to patreon.com/the ABV Network. Gentlemen, thanks so much for joining me today. I really appreciate it.
All righty.
All right, Fridays, we'll have a brand new show for you tomorrow. Looking forward to that. Until then, take care, everybody. See ya. Peace. Before we finish the show, let's talk about some great companies that support the ABV network. First up is Moonshine Still Pro. Moonshine Still Pro has a full line of products to help the home distiller. Whether you want to experiment on the stove in your kitchen or you're looking for a bigger setup in your backyard, owner Russell Creed and his team can help. They have multiple still offerings, accessories, and even grain from their partners at Goldstone Mill to assist you in making whiskey on par with your favorite distillery. They can also help you with some fabricated parts you probably can't make yourself if you are attempting a DIY still project. Learn more or order your still or parts at moonshinestillpro.com. Another friend of ours is the Goldstein family at Goldstone Mill. The Goldsteins offer a variety of heritage and heirloom grains to make the finest whiskeys in the world. Plus, they are more than just a grain company. They are truly consultants to make sure the grains they are providing to you or your business meet your highest expectations. Additionally, they work with mills around the country, ensuring shipping is as low as possible for their customers. If you're a distillery, brewery, or even doing this at home, Goldstone can assist you. Check them out at goldstonemill.com, call them at 217-254-6613, or check in via email at hello@goldstonemill.com. Last but not least is the ABV Barrel Shop. While we don't get to play in the allocated bourbon game because we aren't selling the other products you have to do to get those, we do have access via our friendships in the bourbon industry to some really cool stuff. Have you ever seen your favorite craft distiller selling some really cool limited offerings only in their gift shop? I'm talking things like the hazmat offering Distillery 291 did for their 10th anniversary, or Neely Family Distillery's Papaw's birthday barrel. They don't have enough of it to send it out to distributors, so they only sell it via their gift shop. Well, companies like Distillery 291 and Neely Family Distillery have agreed to sell us 2 or 3 cases of these offerings moving forward, meaning our store will have the access to some of the rarest whiskeys in the world. Way more difficult to come by than the allocated bourbon offerings with a national release. Yes, they will be extremely tough to come by, but if you're a customer of our store, you'll have a chance to get them. Get signed up for our email or text list over at abvbarrelshop.com so you don't miss out.
The Bourbon Daily is part of the ABV Network. For more information or to become a sponsor, please visit abvnetwork.com. Thanks for listening and cheers.
This has been a Steve Akeley production.